everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I'm not the security. So, boys, asking for Cyberpunk features. I was here is at your service, and we are here, and we are back for some more Punishing Gray Raven. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well today, because I am doing all right, and I'm doing fine. But yeah, with that said, let's dive in. Let us dive in and check this out. And let us continue with Vera's arcane Anima. And I'm super excited to continue the story. So yeah. With that said, let's go. Let's get things started. Let me just quickly get all these blue thingies off my screen. Get them off my screen, man. Oh man, this has been honestly been a great event so far. I'm loving it so far, man. But yeah. I think with that said, before we start, I kind of want to do I want to do a couple polls, 10 polls here, or one more 10 poll here, for Dante's cub. So yeah, let's do it. Boom. Time to sacrifice one more temple. Boom. Come on. Nah. Yeah, Bogey, please don't be pity. It's gonna be pity, isn't it? Fuck. Not a great way to start off the stream. Not a great way to start off stream, huh? Alright, let's see. Damn, no special animation, huh? That's a bit lame, but okay. And whatever, I guess. Anyways, let's move along from that, and let's continue Vera's arcane Anima. I believe. Okay, yes, I already still need to read that as well. So, but yeah. Let's continue on with this arcane Anima. I'm honestly super happy and excited about this one, because this one has been so good so far. Because it really has been diving deeper into Vera's character, and I love it. But yeah, I think with that said, let's keep going. Pure Land. All right. Oh shit, the music already. Oh god. Hey opens the door, gripping the key as she looks down upon the horde of corrupted below. You think you can lure away this many corrupted by yourself? You're delusional. So you need to stay behind. It's the only way those refugees might have a chance to survive. You were exactly right. They're a flock without a shepherd, and they need you right now. When they detected corrupted below earlier, they temporarily sheltered the refugees in a sheep pen in a fort passage. Hay mutters to herself once again. Aw, I wanted to live. Before she makes the ultimate choice, she finally tears off her mask and lets out a hoarse cry. I wanted to live. Just as you said, I wanted to run away. I wanted to escape from Chrono on the battlefield. When you were telling Moth those ways to retreat from the front line, I was paying even more attention than she was. Haha. Truthfully, I'd probably be no different from the refugees behind if I hadn't met you and Moth. Everyone's a self-serving coward at heart. Damn. What a grim way to look at it. Sometimes your presence is just too prominent. I find myself avoiding a deeper connection with you, like I'd only call you by your codename. That's part of it, I think. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Give me the tracking device. Vera grabs Hay's hand with the key tightly. The two locked in a fierce struggle. Oh shit. Give it to you? After everything that's happened? You still want to let me go? Never. Cut the nonsense. I won't allow someone with a deviated mind like you to... Let me go, Vera. I can't take this anymore. This is the first time her captain is called Hound by her real name, causing Vera to freeze for a moment. Right, Vera, there's something I want to ask you for a long time. What must we pursue in order to survive? For me, I want freedom. I want to go to a paradise without viruses, war, and distrust. I'm always willing to hold on just a little longer for these dreams. Damn. Vera, what about you? Vera opens her mouth slightly, trying twice to speak, but her vocal module is hoarse with a rumble in her chest. Oh, damn. What do you live for? Vera's mind races through countless thoughts, every moment from her birth until now. From the peaceful moment she once cherished every battlefield she has traversed since growing up. From the heartbeat she once felt in her human body, to the engines in her frame that push her forward just a little bit more for one more strike. She recalls the lives destroyed and the death spread by the punishing virus. She remembers when she stood among it all, the cold blood and vital fluid dripping down her blade. She thinks about all of them, and in the end, there's only one thing that she will remember for centuries to come. Alright. And so Vera utters the word. It's pain. Oh shit. Oh yeah, true. Ooh, rah. After receiving the answer, Hay laughs with tears. I knew it. I always wonder what makes you live with such determination. If it's pain, I finally understand. Thank you. Aww. Damn. Oh shit. God damn. Hay suddenly twists Vera's injured arm and plunges a knife into it, planting her firmly against the wall. Oh shit. Oh. The intense pain makes Vera wince as all sensations in her body concentrate at this single point. This pain is unnaturally severe, nearly robbing her of the ability to move. You called me gentle the other day, haha. Who's truly the gentle one, I wonder? Stop struggling, Vera. I won't harm you. You'll live. I tampered with your arm when I was treating you that day. Who would have thought? I originally did it to prevent you from hunting down a deserter like me, but now it serves a different purpose. Look at those faces behind you. Look into their eyes. Hay kicks open the rusted metal door at the junction. Oh shit. Following Hay's direction, Vera turns her face and meets the eyes of the refugees, all of them glimmering with the will to survive. Oh shit. You're the only one who can lead them to safety now. You're the last lifeline they can cling to. Damn. My reason to keep fighting is no longer enough to lead these people to safety, but perhaps I can march on in a different way for a while longer, giving you all a chance to survive. Realizing something, Vera begins to struggle desperately. There's still enough time. That beach Hush talked about. Didn't you want to see it? That was probably a fantasy. Moth was very young when she joined Corono, and her memories are merely post-traumatic self-embellishments. The trauma was so severe that she couldn't even remember her own name. So a place that beautiful simply doesn't exist. I taught her many things, but the word captain is what she pronounces most clearly. She even asked me to teach her how to pronounce her name when you first joined Group 13, but she couldn't roll her tongue properly and kept calling you Viwa. I did consider desertion once, but I abandoned that idea after what happened to Group 009. I didn't want any of you to bear the burden of my mistakes or my indecision. In the end, I took on this mission. I thought to myself, I could possibly slip away quietly on my own in a remote place like Seaside Town, so far away from the Chrono headquarters, right? In the end, as you can see, my indecision has prevented you all from breaking out of this place, leaving us trapped in mutual distrust. Damn. Hay gently pats Vera's injured arm in a comforting gesture. My mind almost deviated, having been trapped down here. If what you say is true and dozens of days have passed, why hasn't Colonel contacted us even once? Damn, true. Vera, do you think Corona also intended for us to turn against each other? I mean... I had only one thought left when I realized that. I wanted Moth and you to survive. But now Moth is dead too, and my ridiculous fantasy ends here. To be honest with you, my teammates were truly the only part I didn't find revolting in Chrono. Hay turns towards the door, casting one final glance back at Vera. I agree with what Moth said. Perhaps there's no one else in this world but us. Live there. I suppose that means we live on too. Let go of me! Vera nearly tears her shoulder apart for the second time when she finally manages to grip the knife's handle and pulls out the blade, pinning her down. Vera lunges toward the door, reaching out to grab, but countless hands of refugees have reached out as well, grabbing hold of Vera. Oh shit. Oh. Vera remains frozen in place, struggling as she watches the hummingbird leap onto the abyss just beyond her fingertips' reach. Captain! Under everyone's gaze and abandonment, Hummingbird plummets into the swarm of corrupted below. Oh shit. The sound of metal clashing sends heartbreaking screech through the air as vital fluid blooms out like an outward flower. Hummingbird whirls her blade like a cyclone, cutting through the surging waves of corrupted in a storm mixed with her vital fluid as she slowly recedes into the distance. Damn, alright. Wanting to go somewhere far away to see the ocean. The false key she holds once gave her hope, and now she uses this mistake to lead the raging tide away from the shores full of the living. Alright, damn. Aw. until the tide recedes at the edge of the sea. A long drawn whistle echoes from somewhere beyond the crowd's vision. Homebound. When the fishermen were done fishing, they would whistle the sound to relay messages to the shore. So when people on the shore knew when to prepare meals for their return. Vera, we'll be homebound soon too. We'll be homebound soon too. Aw. As the whistle ends, Vera hears an explosion. The plan to keep everyone alive has succeeded, but no one cheers. Is this how you do it? Are my hands in the right place? Mm-hmm. Hay was following Hush's guidance and pressed her hands together, and Vera actually caught a glimpse of embarrassment on her face. So what about other words? I've already learned homebound. This whistle, it's not homebound. It's the new word she learned. Vera seems to want to say something, but she cannot utter a single word in front of the refugees. She now stands at the head of the refugees, leading these survivors as she takes on the mission of living on. And the refugees, the sheep, suddenly jump free of that non-existent boundary around them, as if inspired by the black sheep, and they no longer follow the crowd one after another. The first refugee steps forward, and having retrieved Hay's weapon at some point, hands it to Vera. A second refugee steps forward as well, raising a lantern high to illuminate the path ahead. Yeah. A third, a fourth. People support each other as they leave the sunless fortress and emerge into the open. This place is still not far from the sea. One can hear the waves providing a backdrop to the whistle sound if one listens carefully. Aw, damn. Rapture continue to attack them throughout their escape, but Vera, leaning on her blade for support, cuts them down one after another. Phew. Vera's injuries continue to multiply along the way, forcing people to scavenge Moth's body to salvage parts for her. Moth's arm is now Vera's arm, it is as if Moth continues to live on through her. In occasional moments of daze, Vera returns to that conversation with Hush on the 44th day, finally speaking the words she could not say back then. My hometown was quite far away from the ocean. Aww. The summer wasn't very hot, so it wasn't great for swimming, and it always snowed in the winter. There was plenty to do in the snow too, though I don't know if they were as fun as those on the beach. It's funny, really. Despite being born at the end of the Golden Age, I've never seen the sea with my own eyes. Aww. Most of my family were gone. Most of the time, I could only think of better ways to survive. There was no time to stop and take in the scenery. So I've never seen those landscapes you described. Never seen a paradise like that. I've also never had teammates I could rely on. I should raise my blade, I think. It feels as though the hands of all The refugees are still clutching to her alongside Hushes, constantly pushing her to raise her blade once more. Shouldn't the purpose of raising my blade be to keep me alive? When did it become so complicated? Ha! She raises her blade, then raises it once more. After countless times she's raised her blade for others, she feels as though she too has arrived at the paradise Hush described. She seems to see a rainbow-colored beach, clear crystal waters, fantastically diverse coral, and noisy seabirds squabbling over food. Everything resembles the vibrant atmosphere of a chaotic, colorful festival. Aww. She gazes at the scene and smiles gently. In truth, she is the same. She also believes in the existence of that paradise, and is grateful to Hush for giving her hope. And so the elderly and children are surrounded in the center of the formation. They look up toward that splash of red at the very front, their Valkyrie, standing at the boundary of hell itself. And the people walk toward the side of life. Aww. Until. Someone's there! Look, there are people ahead! We're saved! Oh boy. Not far ahead lies a conservation area. Heavy rain falls from the sky. Though current of rainfall, people can see that the corrupted's attack has also reached this conservation area. Vera casts a heavy gaze across the distance. As expected, she spots a crowd of panicked refugees fleeing for their lives. But beyond that, there is a conspicuous squad of constructs within the crowd, standing in the pouring rain and shouting something. Everyone stay calm and maintain order. Our team has already contained the corrupted. There's enough time to evacuate. Babylonian constructs. There are clearly not enough transport vehicles, but they still have managed to arrange evacuation in a relatively neat and orderly fashion. Let those with children board first, and the rest of you can... The speeding construct slips, but another construct quickly grabs and steadies him. Thanks, the ground is so slippery. Damn. Are they capable of relying on each other? Vera stands in place, exhausted. When the constructs from the conservation area notice them, she raises her hand and pushes the refugee closest to her. Go, move on. Food, water, vehicles. You people need these things to survive, and they have them all. Her eyes fix on the two constructs rushing towards them. Babylonia is probably a better place than Corono. With Vera's push, the refugees who have come with her all run toward the constructs. They're finally safe. Aww. But Vera does not follow them to safety. A hound of the Corono Special Force should probably avoid Babylonia personnel. She leans on her blade for support, walking toward the sound of waves. Until the tide recedes at the edge of the sea. Aww. Vera reaches the shore. She finds a small boat, collapses onto it, and lets it carry her away adrift. Another wave crashes onto the shore, washing away Vera's staggering footprints on the sand and erasing everything. Damn. Oh, present! Is it present? Is it the present? Raindrops fall on her face. Her eyelashes quiver slightly as she opens her eyes. Damn, alright. A human stands above her, intently gazing down at her face. You're awake. So this is the place. This is the small boat by the shore carries the survivor and brings her to today, many years later. The person in the small boat is no longer a hound of Corono, but Vera of Babylonia. Before Vera can adjust her visual module, she sees a blurry shape sway before her, seemingly a human hand waving in front of her face. I can give you a hand. Get up, you're disturbing my rest. My rest. Damn. Never mind, come sit with me for a while. Long accustomed to Cerberus captain's demeanor, you cannot be bothered by her sharp tongue. You accept her invitation and sit beside her, right in the seawater. I didn't expect you to actually find this place. What did you expect when you sent me to the exact same mail again? With exaggerated solemnity, you pull up the mail from Vera on your terminal and read it aloud. By the time you receive this letter, I've already fled with countless treasures. I found a secluded paradise to hide away in, and I'll never return to Babylonia again. Oh, so you've come looking for me again because of a letter I sent as a joke. I thought if I cried wolf enough times, you wouldn't fall for it anymore. Despite her words, Vera's expression clearly says, I knew you'd come all along. I'll try my best to be there when you call for me. Aw. Vera narrows her eyes with satisfaction. Good. Oh, there really is a secret mission this time. Oh, so Nicholas sent you. Did he tell you everything about the mission? Just the mission objectives. I know nothing about your past connection to this mission. According to Commander Nicola, Vera is secretly searching for a key. Chrono has the key, and its only copy was lost toward the end of the Golden Age. After the punching virus outbreak, Chrono sent people to recover the copy from a black market, but they failed, and there was no follow-up. When Babylon suddenly becomes interested in the treasure behind this key, and begins searching for the copy, they send Vera, who has a previous connection to it, along with the Grey Raven commanded, who Vera requested. According to your speculation, the copy of the key is on this island? That's right, back when I was still working with the Chronos Special Force, my squad never managed to find the real key. We were deceived, and the entire squad was lost. We spent a long time suspecting each other while holding the fake key when the real one was being kept by Daedalus all along. Surprisingly, my captain survived. I heard she took revenge on the culprits, infiltrated Daedalus, and made off with the real key. Her current whereabouts is unknown, but that was quite a badass sequel. Oh, so she survived. Damn. Ha! Now Babylonia wants me to pick up where the mission left off. The simplest approach is to find the whereabouts of this badass captain. So go out to work and found some information from those who might know something. I should just put away any unnecessary compassion. Those informants deserved worse than they got. Damn. They showed out plenty of people back when they were with Chrono. Our mission went wrong because of them as well. Just an eye for an eye, that's all. However, I'm certain she'll eventually come to this island, even without finding the ones who sabotaged our mission back then. Would you tell me more about what happened? Consider it repayment for me agreeing to this mission. Vera glances at you, seemingly contemplating whether this exchange of her past is appropriate. In the end, she chooses to tell you her story. It's quite a long story. Aw. As Vera speaks, the sea gently washes over the two of you on the beach like waves of distant memories breaking shore. Her story connects three people. Vera begins from when they were all nobodies and tells of the formation of Colonel Special Forces Group 13. How they went from complete strangers to souls bound by inevitable threads of fate. From distrust to two defeats she pretends to dismiss, yet her eyes cast downward every time she remembers them. From the fall of Moth and Hummingbird to the hand she could not grab in time, to the refugees that firmly grasped hers then. From her boarding a small boat in the rain all the way to now. To this very moment. Damn. Vera finishes her tale before pointing to the beautiful scenery before you. The very paradise she has described in her letters. One last thing, do you think this island is beautiful? Does it live up to our fantasies? This is Rainbow Beach, the beautiful homeland of Hush. It's also the paradise that Hay always dreamed of escaping to. If she really survived, this is where she would come. She lies down, stretching her limbs to feel the shallow waves washing over her and the colorful coral reef beneath. You listen silently, turning your gaze once more to the scenery before you. There's a beach in front of my home. We called it the Rainbow Beach. Aw. Oh, this art is amazing. The Rainbow Beach has very shallow water. Shoals of fish appear at a high tide, and the coral beneath reveals itself when the tide recedes. Oh, this is an insane art, man. The corals are so colorful, they gleam in the sunlight. There are no colorful coral reefs or swimming fish here. Only gray-white dead coral and mountains of bleached bones. The so-called paradise was nothing but a fabricated memory from a girl and a desperate fantasy from a woman dreaming of escape. This paradise was destroyed by the punching virus long ago. Down. Vera laughs bitterly at this scenic view, lying in the gray water as she gently touches her once damaged left eye. What a joke. Everything from her time as Colonel ultimately turns into bleached bones. No, perhaps it's not like that. They lived on in another way. You point at Vera amidst the decay. A streak of red remains vibrantly alive. And in the process, a new vibrant team is born. Oh, yeah, true. Oh, dude, I love... Oh, yeah, that is true to point out. Like, I love how the red... Oh, that's so true, though. I love how much... Like, with all the gray, I love how much her red hair just seems to pop out even more. Oh, that's such a good catch by the story, man. A good shout. Behind this streak of crimson stands a special squad that causes a commotion every single day. Don't go interpreting my thoughts as something so noble and righteous. I've only ever thought about how to keep myself alive. But yourself seems to have expanded. True. Time passes and the Hound has become Cerberus. After losing Group 13, Vera's not also trying to find closure for that chapter of her life. She's repeatedly volunteered for missions related to Daedalus, and even after its fall, she's continued moving between its remaining branches. She's witnessed more malice and bleached bones than what lies on this beach now. Her endless search finally came to a halt in one of the laboratories, where she finally found a single living being. Specifically, a construct, a white shadow. The white shadow reached out her hand against Vera's blade as if wanting to embrace her. Don't leave me. She propped up the white shadow by his shoulders, adjusting her position like a doll, stopped her bleeding with practiced motions. Ah, yes. Number 21's interlude. Are you an angel? Vera was momentarily stunned. She likely said something dismissive out of habit afterward. But once the girl lost consciousness, Vera carried her over her shoulders. Aw. And then there was that rainy night. As she collapsed, is closed in contact with Corona failed in a familiar passage. Vera grasped her higher-ups intent. Survival of the fittest, like how Group 13 was left to struggle underground for her over a month years ago. Corona once again trying to eliminate the weaker one between them. She ordered number 21 to retreat, refusing to let another life wither away under her watch. But that idiot would not listen. Number 21 hunched over, shielding Vera from falling rocks while desperately dragging her toward the exit. Even with vital fluid pooling beneath her, even if she finally collapsed down on a rainy night, number 21 was determined to bring her home to safety. And so a white shadow is added to her shoulders. Hey, stay with me! You want to lug your corpse all the way back? I'm not... She carried number 21 firmly on her back, feeling the warmth against her shoulders. For the first time in her life, she felt grateful. Her bonds with her teammates have already transformed into an unyielding obsession, firmly rooted in her past, just like her own stubbornness. And now the threads of fate continue to weave. The Hound has been rewarded with more features ahead, even without Group 13. Vera now possesses possibilities she has never before imagined. Countless threads weave into the tapestry of fate, and after all, causes and effects have played out. It always chooses the perfect moment to bring people together. Aww. Now you must live on for all of them. True. Please. I don't want you to die. Yeah, you're right. The captain of Cerberus rises from the beach and walks toward the bleached bones. Among the pile of bones, the remains of a construct stand conspicuously out of place. Hummingbird's appearance is no longer discernible, having been washed and eroded by seawater. Starting with her, Vera prized a small access card from the hand of the construct's remains. A plain unassuming access card, looking almost like an insignificant trinket. Because the paradise of her imagination didn't exist, she lost her last will to live and chose to end her life. I must admit, I don't like your ending, Hummingbird. I prefer when the commandant I just said. Vera clutches the key tightly as if gripping a newfound conviction. Why don't you leave the real key to me? Aw. Vera secures the key and lets out a distinctive whistle. The sound carries across the waves into the distance. Hey, Commander, you've heard the story. Want to guess what that meant? I'll give you a hint. Hummingbird whistled it when she was leading the corrupted away. Homebound? Vera burst into laughter. You got it wrong! Damn. She thrusts her banner spear into the beach, its flag instantly unfurling and fluttering in the air. Aw, hey. It means set sail. I will open up the next paradise. Hey, nice. Aw, that's nice. Aw, that's nice. Alright, sorry about that. I had to do something real quick. But yeah, we're back. So yeah, let's finish this off. Or at least the main story, at least. So yeah, let's get going. New Dawn. Alright. Now yeah, can't whistle yet. Staying in the lightless prison, you stare at the man seated in the chair beyond the bars. Alright, so we're in a prison now. Though you cannot make out his face clearly, you can tell from the occasional sounds he makes that he's probably quite young. I don't think I know him. You executed Vera's castaway scenario half a day ago and was taken away by the Aurora Squadron. Everything had been proceeding according to the plan. But ever since the Aurora Squadron brought you to this prison from the beach, this young man has not stopped staring at you. It's impossible not to feel uneasy. Wondering who I am? Let me introduce myself. I'm Hanif, a squad captain. If I'm not mistaken about who you are, you're something of a distinguished guest. We can't afford to treat you poorly. But still, you locked me up? If I'm not mistaken, you take 2 small steps forward and grip the railing in front of you. Everyone in the room tenses up immediately, from the corners from the sounds of the bullets being chambered. Anyone who just happens to be rescued from the sea ought to be observed for a while, especially with all the recent incidents occurring topside. Was it just an accident or intentional? I heard several Chrono executives died recently. It's true, who in Babylonia doesn't know that Chrono has been having some issues lately? Why don't you be more honest with us first? Tell us how you really ended up here, otherwise we can't have a proper conversation. After all, I don't believe in coincidences. We were carrying out our regular mission, so how is it that we just happened to find a Babylonian commandant near a deserted island? You carefully consider your words and decided to probe a little bit. I was on a mission. Babylonia is looking for something. But I ran into a small accident at sea. Could it be that we are looking for the same thing? Why is he suddenly putting on an act all by himself? That's not a good idea. We don't need to share anything with Babylonia. This is Chrono's business. An eerie silence spreads between you. He has clearly rejected any attempt at friendly communication. Hanif rises to his feet and beckons with his hand. A squad member approaches from the shadows and asks something in a hushed voice. Should we take the commandant away or We'll relocate the commandant first. Ensure commandant's safety at all costs. I'll talk with the higher-ups. As you listen to their discussion, a sudden feeling washes over you that something is not quite right. Can't let them relocate me. Are you nervous? Seemingly notice the subtle change in your expression. Hanif smiles and approaches, his eyes gleaming faintly in the darkness. He moves in until he's right at the bars. The two of you now face to face with only the cage between you. Hanif's voice drops to a taunting whisper. Don't be nervous, I'm just teasing you. You're playing the part well, so have some faith in yourself, Chief. His piercing gaze makes your skin crawl, and you have lost your patience to continue this performance with him. Without hesitation, you bring the back of your hand to your lips. Stop it. The soldiers outside quickly raise their weapons, but a sharp, prolonged whistle has already sounded. Hey, lower your weapons. The room is soundproof. The signal won't reach outside. The squad members uniformly lower their weapons, yet remain intently focused on the situation unfolding in front of the cage. No one notices the squinted streak of color appearing overhead. I think we put on enough of this show. Hanif keeps his right hand hidden underneath his coat, fiddling with something while maintaining an air of nonchalance as it continues to ramble on. I should have tied you up your arms and legs as well. Well, too bad you didn't. I told you not to get too close. Lunge forward with outstretched hands. Hmm? No one expects the caged prisoner to thrust an arm out with lightning speed, precisely clamping down on Hanif's throat. Leader! Vera, now! As that name escapes your lips, the sounds of bodies hitting the ground echo one after another, traveling forward from behind. Hey, let's go! A red shadow dashes among the soldiers, taking down everyone on her path. Not a single bullet has time to leave its barrel before the red figure arrives at the front of the cage. Vera watches the standoff between prisoner and jailer with leisurely interest, a dazzling smile spreading across her face. You two are really getting into your roles, aren't you? Everything is already taken care of. Thanks to the chakra you planted in your mouth earlier, we've completely lost our dear commandant otherwise. Can you let go already? I want to teach this punk a lesson. You're not letting go? Don't tell me you're changing the plan. Are we just going to kill him instead? Alright, I trust your judgment. Seeing Vera with her weapon raised. You feel like you have taught Hanif a lesson, and you're happy to stop here. Vera, stop. Open the door now. Hanif rubs the red and swelling on his neck, coughing as he unlocks the cage for you. Thinking it's over, he is surprised when Vera suddenly delivers a swift kick to the back of his knee, sending him crashing to the ground. He looks up and meets Vera's dangerous gaze. Consider this a warning. I've heard everything clearly from above. You've said quite a few unnecessary things to my commandant. Next time, you won't be so lucky if you try to act clever or run your mouth. I don't know what game you're playing, forcing us to eliminate all of your squad, but understand this, now that we've dealt with all of them all, you're truly alone. After this, you have no choice but to follow our instructions. And don't think you can defect to Babylonia this way, we won't accept it. As expected, of people who go along with such an absurd plan. Already heard those exact words from this one. Hanif looks at you as you flex your wrist. Get to the business. You said you'd lead us to the treasure chest if we helped you ditch the war squadron. Do you still remember the promise? I haven't forgotten my promise. I can take you there anytime. It's just behind this island. Let's go then. Time for your end of the bargain. Hey, let's go. A few days ago, you arrived at the beach to rendezvous with Vera for your appointment. You found your mission objective, the true key, and amid hummingbirds' remains, Vera revealed the story of Chrono Group's 13. Meanwhile, this young man from Chrono also showed up as if he had been waiting there the whole time. He proposed a deal with an inexplicable excitement in his voice. Finding the key isn't enough. I know where the treasure chest is. Getting the treasure chest through me is definitely faster than negotiating with Chrono through Babylonia. However, we need a convincing reason for me to slip away from the Aurora Squadron. That works out perfectly then. Here. Vera gently pushed you forward. Is this bait good enough for you? If the Aurora Squadron dares to make a move against the Commandant, I have a legitimate reason to act. Don't be so surprised. Since you're here, you might as well make good use of you. We don't have any better bait on hand. Hand of size linger on you for a while, long while before she finally nods. He finally nods. That's enough, more than enough. I look forward to the moment when you abduct me instead, Chief. With a gun pointed at Hanif, you make your way to the shore until bushes and a wire fence block your path. A tall wire fence draped with black fabric prevents anyone from glimpsing the shoreline beyond. It looms over the three of you. So this is Chrono's treasure trove up ahead. You synchronize your location data with Babylonia, then signal for Vera to pull back the curtain. Not exactly. This is just a waypoint, or rather, as the curtain slowly falls. The wind rises. The sea surges violently against the shore as a warship suddenly appears before everyone. This is the ark that sails toward the treasures. Vera stares intently at the ship through the wire fence. She slowly breaks into an excited smile, not expecting the next opportunity to set sail would arrive so soon. One is expecting another chapter of this treasure hunt. You gaze at the scene before them. Your eyes linger on Vera's frame. Your memories drift back to a time when the sea breeze carried the damp, slightly bitter scent of Atlantis. This is truly a perfect moment to set sail once again. Vera tilts her head and looks over, her crimson hair dancing in the wind. Commandant, my commandant, since I extended an invitation to you, you should see it through to the end, shouldn't you? Damn, alright. Oh, damn, cliffhanger, god damn it. Hey, nice. Please accept a small token appreciation. Aw. Heart metal cookie. One time after mission, Vera brings you a metal cookie, hoping to help you take care of yourself. Out of caution, you have a look inside. The painkillers have been replaced by several doses of epinephrine. Besides, a special whistle in the corner might save your life in critical situations. Ah, yes. Aw, that's nice. I like that. Oh, and this art is beautiful as well, man. Again, the art is beautiful as well. Oh, dude. But, yeah, overall, man, I really enjoyed this story, bro. I really enjoyed this story, man. I really did. It was also really good, man. Like, it was really cool to see more of an expanded backstory for Vera. Really dive into more of an expanded backstory for Vera and such. It was really cool to see that. And, yeah, it really is cool to see, you know, how much layers there are to her character as well. Like, how deep her character is. And, like on the surface, she may be, quote-unquote, sadistic and kind of cruel. She still very much cares underneath about her friends and her family, quote-unquote family and teammates, and such and so forth. But yeah, it really is sad that the hummingbird came to an end, that end of ending her life. But yeah, overall, man, and it's super interesting that we were left on a cliffhanger with the whole key thing. But yeah, I wonder if and I also do wonder if that'll ever be brought up again. But yeah, overall, man, just great stuff. Anyway, sorry about that. Had to do another thing, but yeah. Let's keep going. Let's read some of these little secret things. These little mini things. Let's read it. Aw. It is an ordinary afternoon of an ordinary vacation where ordinary work is being handled. It's being handled. Alright. Everything flows at its usual pace until a flash of crimson yanks open the door to the Grey Raven Lounge. So aren't you looking swell? Vera, why are you in this frame? Did you just finish a mission? You hurriedly put down your report and prepare to stand up to see what is happening outside, only to be firmly pushed back into your seat by Vera's hand. Oh shit, She examines you carefully from head to toe, sets down the 2 packages in her hands, and the usual mischievous expression returns to her face. Do you know there are rumors everywhere about your death? Huh? So what exactly is going on? Let me see. After pondering for a moment, you finally recall injuring your arm last week during an exchange training with Hellhound. You mean this? Hellhound, looks like they are looking for trouble again. You just have some antiseptic dressing on. It's only a minor injury, right? Who knows what kind of a telephone game is being played out there? It's truly ridiculous. It's just a scratch. I took care of it myself. Always putting on a brave face. One day I'll be in real trouble and no one will ever notice. It's fine, you noticed, and you came all this way to check on me. Aw. Following your gaze, Vera notices the 2 packages she tossed on the table earlier. You brought these for me? Is my concern not enough for you? Vera pats the 2 packages on the table. If you're curious, sit still and behave yourself. Vera swiftly unwraps the packages, revealing the rather unexpected contents inside. A basic first aid kit and a fruit basket. I didn't think you were really here to check on me. You do not know what is going on through Vera's mind as she pulls out a fruit knife and begins to peel an apple. I'm not just here to check on you, I also happen to have some matters I need to confirm with you. Something you need to confirm with me? I will. I just remember that you didn't get the chance to eat the last apple of peel for you as well. Huh. When did you ever peel an apple for me? Vera does not continue immediately, as if suddenly lost in some distant memory. Oh, I must have remembered it wrong. Vera definitely peels the fruit, cuts it into small pieces, and hands one to you. Try it. I'll go back and have a word with the vendor if it isn't sweet. Go on. Aw. Aw, that's cute. Yeah, let's keep on going. Show me your arm. I'll give it a look. A quick examination. Vera's brows suddenly furrow. How long has it been since you changed his dressing? Over 3 days, I bet. I don't really remember. It's not that serious anyway. And your team usually goes on independent missions for the 3 days. You really are something else. The outer compartment of that first aid kit. Yes, that one. Unzip it. Are you readjusting my wound? Looking down and opening Vera's custom medical kit, you were shocked to discover just how unusual it is. It is packed to the brim with serum and several shots of adrenaline, but there's not a single painkiller hemostatic gel. What kind of first aid kit is this? This isn't a medical kit, it's a berserker buff. It's the berserker buff. Vera quickly finishes the rest of the apples with a few bites, washes her hands, and takes out a roll of gauze from the kit. Probably the only true life-saving item in there. Perfect for a reckless idiot like you, isn't it? Stay still, I can't promise I'll be gentle with my hands. Hearing that, you sit obediently and watch as Vera disinfects your wound and carefully wraps it with gauze. You expected Vera to be the type who would rush through the process without being considerate, but her emotions are surprisingly gentle. Anything else besides this? Does your side abdomen still hurt? The wound from Puyallup Forest Park ruins? Memories of that day flood back at the mention of it. You remember the heterohive mother's tentacle piercing deep into your side abdomen. A sharp pain shoots through your old wound, forcing an involuntary frown. Did the heterohive mother hit there too? How unfortunate. I heard you had a pretty rough time on the surface back then. Actually, I was unconscious most of the time, so I don't really remember much of the pain. You say that, but your expression betrayed you. I should jab your wound and remind you what pain feels like, otherwise you'll just be the stubborn again next time. Damn. Relax, won't you? Stop staring at me like that. I'm not going to poke you. Vera tosses out a few more teasing remarks, then adds a small decorative bow to the bandaged wound. All done. Next time you can just remove it. It's healing fairly well. I'll leave the first aid kit and free basket here. Next time you get yourself hurt, I'll just send my regards remotely through them. Bruh. Thanks. Since your lounge is empty, I'll take a break here. The Cerberus lounge is a complete disaster thanks to those two idiots. Ugh, never mind. Just thinking about it gives me a headache. This is a notification, not a negotiation. Vera stretches and tosses her hair over the chair back, sinking comfortably into the seat. Aw, that's nice. Seeing how Vera's made herself comfortable, you assume she intends to rest in the Grey Raven Lounge for a while. You instinctively quiet down while working, and you even prepare an unused sleeping pod for her. Nice. Upon activating the sleeping pod, you know the construct behind you has opened her eyes at some point, quietly watching you. When do you wake up? Your chair is uncomfortable, so can't sleep. Get me a pillow next time. Sure. You sure know how to boss people around. These everyday moments when you can exchange banter with someone else are more precious than you realize. You should be grateful for them. Aw. Yeah, I suppose that's fair. Unfortunately, your choices have made everyday life into a rare commodity. Vera suddenly sits up straight. If the surface is so dangerous, why did you choose to become a task force commander in the first place? Almost any other job would be safer than running to the front line every day like you do now. Well, you wouldn't have to hear shocking rumors about yourself every now and then. Shouldn't you get to choose any post you want as chief of FOS? Was so impressioning you? No impression me, it was my choice. As for why, you cannot help but recall the events surrounding your graduation, the prior training, the ceremony, the career paths, and yet there is always a hollow emptiness that remains unfulfilled. Was it because of something you saw on the surface? And Vera's answer precisely fills that void. This seems to be the explanation. A dull pain throbs in your head, even though your last medical examination assured you that everything was fine. Damn, alright. Have I forgotten something? Who can say? Vera's expression remains unchanged. She simply gazes at you quietly, saying nothing. And you, Vera? Me? Well, yeah, why did you come back to Babylonia, Vera? Lee once told me you were part of Chrono's Special Force. Was Nicola pressuring you? You make Vera's tone while he asks the question, and you cannot help but chuckle as well. Vera's expression also softens a bit. Aw. Haha, my story is a long and exhausting tale. There's nothing particularly interesting. From considering joining Babylonia to finally making the decision, it was a long process. Someone gave me a push along the way as well. Aw. Vera looks at you again. If you've got nothing better to do, I suppose I can tell you about it. Aw, that's nice. Oh, wait, is that... Oh, okay, I think I get it now. This was basically a prelude to her Arcade Anima. Actual Arcade Anima story, okay. But, yeah, overall, man, I really enjoyed it. Aw, that's really cute, man. I really enjoyed it. But, yeah, overall, man, just great stuff, dude. But, yeah. Alright. Hey, there it is. But, yeah, overall, man, just great stuff. But, yeah. But, yeah, I think we still got some time, a ton of time left. So, yeah, why don't we start the new floating record for Lilith's story chapter? So why don't we do that? But before that, let me take a quick break and let me just rest my voice a little bit. I'll be back before we start again. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, but yeah, let's keep going. Let's read some more story, and let's start with Deceiver's Rapture. And let's start with the first node here that we got, which is Croupier, Tailor, Assassin, Spy. Alright, damn, that is a lot. Las Prados, within translating to Coconut Community, December 24th. Alright. Layout here differs from other parts of Las Prados. Or is it Las Parados? I'm not sure, and whatever. The low antique row houses conceal their tranquility beneath dark stonework, like modest accents to the golden city beyond the horizon. Swirling snowflakes weave together in a downy blanket, absorbing you in the faintest sounds into pure whiteness. The world here is suspended, dreamlike in its stillness. The girl in the lavish gown gently pushes the door open, its hinges swing through an exaggerated arc. Wind chimes tremble with a clear, crisp sound as a cold draft sweeps through the hall. Oh, you're right, sorry, Oh, Eleanor, huh? She spreads her fingers slightly and instinctively brings them to her lips, seemingly surprised by the small mishap. Aw, that's cute. She firmly grabs the bar's handle and pulls it inward, sealing in the room's warmth. Welcome to Rosewater Tailor Shop. There you are, Eleanor. The meticulously groomed man offers a subtle bow, welcoming his visitor into his establishment. Hello, Mr. Shopkeeper. Please, there's no need for such formality. I should be the one apologizing for disturbing you at this hour. Aw. How could Eleanor's visit during our regular business hours be considered a disturbance? Besides, creating custom-tailored pieces for clients is my personal interest. There's supposed to be another order from Madame Mozano, I presume. How is she doing? Is her business still thriving? He seems to realize his small talk sounds somewhat stilted, prompting an awkward smile. Aw. As you can see, making a living with a needle and thread leaves me little opportunity to frequent entertainment venues. The situation over there, I can only ever learn about it through my customers' conversations. It's alright, this city wasn't built entirely for card games. There'll always be those like you, Mr. Shopkeeper, people who take more pleasure in life's quiet routines than chasing endless profit. The girl steers her conversation with impeccable grace. My aunt is doing well. You see, the order it brought today is a gift she prepared herself. The man known as Shopkeeper maintains a relaxed expression, yet a barely perceptible flicker of unease passes through his eyes. Oh, let me guess. A collar piece? A cloak? No, it must be a hat decoration, right? The girl doesn't respond. Instead, she pulls a silk-bound parchment scroll from her handbag. Oh? Though an outdated recording method, it hardly seems out of place in this shop that he still uses carbon granule telephones. When it comes to my aunt's taste, well, no one understands them quite like you. She unrolls the scroll on the glass counter. The sharp-looking middle-aged man adjusts his gold-rimmed glasses with a slight push of his knuckle as he reviews the items listed in the order. Alright. Alright. 8-inch crocheted lace handkerchief, feather accessories. You're here at just the right time. A fresh batch of top quality materials just arrived for early winter. While conversing with his visitor, he searches through the cabinet for a wooden box containing feathers. Alright. Then he pulls out a narrow purple box, proudly displaying its contents to his visitor. Sourced from blackbird habitats in the southern peninsula of Los Pardos, these are nothing like bionic feathers you see everywhere. And even the goldfinch, which never visits the inland region even during migration, our shop has managed to collect feathers from this rare creature as well. Here you are. If you have any additional requirements, feel free to let me know. The girl's gaze lingers on the blackbird feather, its silk fine barbs clinging to a dark blue-black shaft. Even summer mosquitoes are extinct. Being able to collect bird feathers from the forest is a true luxury. The girl's expression flickers with a subtle hint of surprise. Aw. Everything that allows us to reach the stars comes from the Earth itself. Before we set foot among the cosmos, isn't preserving our homeland's treasures and our memories the best way to honor her? He gently picks up the feather resting on velvet, examining it carefully for a moment. Look at me, going off on a tangent again. After carefully replacing the blackbird feather in its case, the shopkeeper, suddenly aware of its impropriety, redirects his attention to the girl. I'll take this one. The style is the same as usual. She quickly returns to her usual smile. Great choice. As for the matching lace fabric, let me get some samples from the storage room for you to choose. Thank you. Would you like something to drink? The weather has been terribly cold lately. I've prepared some black tea in the lounge area. Sugar cubes and maple syrup on the table. Help yourself. Following the shopkeeper's gaze, the girl notices a low tea table on the yard to the one side of the shop, with an elegant metal teapot that looks almost like a decorative display piece. Mr. Shopkeeper certainly thinks of everything. As I always say, everyone should frequent little shops like this more often. Madre Zero Energy Cowboy, Lucky 38? Forget tourists, even locals spend all day in these colorful casino halls. Hunger can be satisfied at all-you-can-eat buffets, of course, but none of those places have hot drinks you prepare, Mr. Shopkeeper. She acts as though pleasantly surprised, shedding her reserve to lavish praise on the shopkeeper's kindness. Aww. The girl declined his offer of tea, instead wandering around the shop examining everything. Come to think of it, I haven't noticed before that you installed a new workout bench outside the counter, Mr. Shopkeeper. She takes her position at the angled wooden counter. Some customers' requests require a little effort, adjusting stitches, trimming fabric, or simply retracting a cufflink. Reattaching a cufflink. At times like this, I work more like a street cobbler. I can solve your needs right here at the counter, and you can be on your way without wasting a moment. The shopkeeper's enthusiasm fades slightly, and the girl keenly catches his brief but unnatural hesitation before he responds. Speaking of time, I suppose you need to leave early for the evening banquet. Just a moment, I'll go get the lace samples. Clearly uninterested in further conversation, he turns toward the shop's storage room. Click. Well, that's the sound he couldn't mistake. The flip-top workstation creaks open, resting lightly against the elegant wall decoration. There's nerve-ending scream and alarm. The girl pulls out a pair of silver long-handed scissors from under the table, the sharp blades slicing through the air. His ears catch the heavy, muffled thud that follows. Oh shit. Bro, what? Then comes the dull pain, spreading through the body like ink dripping into the blood vessels. But foam artery bubbles into the shopkeeper's throat, drowning his vocal cords in the dark red liquid gushing forth. Oh fuck, what the hell? Shh, Mr. Agent from Pollard, at least your disguise was convincing. Embroidery scissors, long-handed shears, buttonhole cutters, serrated scissors. You went through all that trouble collecting such fine tools. Never imagined being used like this, did you? Hot and liquid stains a double-breasted vest crimson, while the black suit jacket has fallen to the floor during his struggle. And damn, this music, man. Holy hell, man. God, this music is going crazy. Music is going crazy, man. His tense, blood-filled muscles stretch the fabric of his shirt, revealing a robust physique that contradicts his craftsman's persona. These scissors entered through your left costal arch. By all accounts, they should have only pierced your spleen. But thanks to the blade's length, that heart in your chest also gets to experience its sharpness. A sound like crushed grapes escapes from the shopkeeper's mouth, the flowing liquid resembling nectar brewed deep in his trachea. Oh no, I can't speak anymore. Seems like I accidentally pierced your lungs as well. Damn. So filthy, how undignified even my clothes are. All-trained instincts finally override his shock. The shop owner steadies himself, veins bulging as his hands lunge toward the small figure in the lavish dress before him. Trying to get my dress dirty too? Don't be so stingy now. The girl nimbly dodges to one side, letting the dying man's final struggle waste away in meaningless momentum. His limbs still twitch, but the body lying on the peachwood floor no longer contains life. What a bother, more physical labor for me now. She holds the shopkeeper's hands, feeling rough calluses between his thumbs and index fingers, hardened skin formed from years of handling firearms. Damn. Then she skillfully drags the corpse to the storage room behind the counter. That cramped, lightless space contains all the shopkeeper's secrets. The assassin no longer needs to verify them one by one. Damn. Alright. The girl raises her right index finger, using her nail to trace an incomplete arc and cross in the darkness. She leaves the room, gently locking the door behind her. Oh dear, how did I still get my sleeve stained with filth? Her voice carries nothing but surprise and regret. The crimson stains, now drying between folds of dark purple fabric, become impossible to discern. The arterial blood splatter and surprisingly neat. The girl quickly cleans the floor with hydrogen peroxide wipes from her handbag. Moments later, it's as if nothing ever happened in the shop. Damn, alright. After confirming everything has been taken care of, the girl returns to the main shop from the hidden room. Mr. Shopkeeper, Mr. Shopkeeper. Mr. Rosewater? The girl stands between the workbench and the display case, tilting her head as she softly calls out the shopkeeper's name. The echo chamber of metal and pure wood remains utterly silent. Oh, thoughtless of me, expecting the shop to be open on Christmas Eve. Then I almost forgot. She examines the treasure on the counter, noticing faint crimson streaks running through the black feathers. Not that Aunt would mind after all. Blackbird's true colors are black and red. Besides, she'll also bring back the classified dossier from the workstation as a gift for her aunt, won't she? I'll take the sample. As for the lace, we'll discuss that later. The girl slips the purple slender box into her handbag, then lifts her gaze toward the street beyond the display window. Snow conceals the true color of the row of little buildings. She knows that beyond the horizon, the city center presents an entirely different scene. Falling snow traces delicate diagonal lines, like celestial ladders inviting people into a world of pure white. Under Babylonia's dome, I might see living birds again. At least that's what Aunt promised. Aw. She gently strokes the curtains, causing the tassels to scrape against the glass with a delicate tinkling sound. Then the girl leaves the shop. Oh damn, alright. Turning past the alley by the tailor shop, the secret scene suddenly opens up. The falling snow has ceased. Stylish decorations and signs adorned by buildings. Yet the scattered pedestrians refuse to linger and admire them. They are eager to return to the warmth indoors, to enjoy their feast of turkey and eggnog. Some, however, appear to be in rather undue haste. The figure collides with her head on, nearly sending the girl tumbling to the ground. Oh? The package in the newcomer's hands falls to the street. Sorry. I should be the one apologizing. I was completely distracted while walking. Lowering herself into a poised crouch, she gathers the leather folio from the floor. Her peripheral vision catches the golden stamp pattern on the package. Rosewater Limited, established 2032. Your things, are you hurt? No thanks. She swiftly accepts the offered package with a curt word of thanks. Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas Eve. Even as she acknowledges the courtesy, the stranger remains shrouded beneath her hood, her face unreadable in the dim light. Their intersecting paths diverge once more, the footprints forming two parallel lines in the snow. Huh, my dress got wet after all. The girl notices traces of melted snowflakes on the hem of her skirt and mutters a complaint to herself. Aw, damn. But damn, definitely a wild start to this chapter, man. Wow. We literally start the chapter by like someone dying. Holy shit. Wow. Like, god damn, bro. Damn. Anyways, let's keep going. 8-shot revolver. Alright, damn. What a title. Old friend never should have raised a viper like you. He told me so himself before he did. Oh god, forgive me. I mean before he passed away. Before he died. Oh, before he passed away. You murder scum, burn in hell. And to think he named you the sole beneficiary in his will. That's just like him, soft-hearted to his dying breath. If he weren't like that, he wouldn't have been wrapped around Felice's finger. Damn. 9:50 p.m., July 13th. Nothing but a leech sucking blood from Wadabor's hide. Even calling this toying with him would be giving him too much credit. As for that old bastard, absolutely disgusting. I'll spare him the lobotomy. But if a blade could carve into his brain and cut out those memories, I'd be more than happy to oblige. You all saw it. This person is cheating. This is your own dream, damn incompetence. Stop blaming others. The rough shell yanks her from her thoughts. Her professional smile clicks on automatically. The argument grows quite intense, with both participants even knocking their chairs to the floor. Damn. Is there a problem, gentlemen? It's alright. Just speak to me like you usually do. The figure in the purple dress strides quickly to the table, her soothing words betraying the maturity that belies her youthful face. Both accusers freeze mid-sentence, even the uninvolved players straighten up. Their casual attitudes evaporating. Eleanor, let me explain. Usually y'all bet around 2.5 times. What about the... What kind of person would bet 10 times in a game like this? Now that's what I call playing smart and dangerous. Maybe take some notes, rookie. Shut up! Spittle flies from his mouth, flicking the neighboring player's face before he suddenly hunches over, pivoting toward the girl beside him. Damn, alright. Look, he never showed his cards. We all just figured the bastard got lucky and let it slide. Then comes the flip, and suddenly his pocket aces include the aces of hearts. That does sound like rare good fortune. Which part of the game are you dissatisfied with, sir? The girl calmly intervenes in the dispute. These days, mechanoids handle all the dealing and shuffling. I know your equipment here is the most reliable. Look, I've played long enough to know every card that has hit the table. That bastard cheated. That's basic skill. Stop flaunting it. Cut to the chase. Don't play coy after cheating. You already pulled an ace of hearts once. How the hell does a perfect duplicate just appear? Stop a cheap trick. Such a cheap trick. Ick. You still have the audacity to... His accusations are drowned out by the grumbling of surrounding players, eager to win them big and fill their pockets, who can hardly tolerate such a waste of their time. We use a city standardized arbitration system. If you don't mind, we can pull up the Tabor's dealer records. I don't mind at all. My hands are completely clean. Let's do this and expose that. The bastard's true colors. Just a moment, please. Her fingers fly across the panel from behind the mechanoid dealer. With a hum, a holographic replay of the entire game flickers to life above the table. The commotion attracts attention from neighboring tables, while the face of the player raising objections gradually contorts. So the artificial constructs circuits have clearly recorded every second of the game, with no evidence supporting his claims. There must be something wrong. I remember it crystal clearly. The other guests are eager to start a new round. I'm sure you understand, sir. If you'd like to investigate further, I can cash out your winnings now, and we can continue this discussion in security. Her smile remains radiant, but the steel in her voice leaves no room for misinterpretation. Ugh. He hesitates for just a moment, then backs down with a dismissive wave. Go ahead with your business, Miss Eleanor. I can handle things here myself. As the situation settles, the player starts shouting for the mechanoids to shuffle the deck again, completely unfazed by how abrupt their shift in attitude is. Damn, alright. The sharp sound of metal hitting the table quiets the crowd once again. Why don't we settle this to the traditional way, shall we? He challenges his opponent who had just won the previous round with a stroke of luck. His right elbow rests casually on the edge of the table, a revolver gripped tightly in his hand. Didn't expect your taste to be so antiquated. Some traditions are worth keeping, like human dealers. These machines took all the fun of arguing with the house. Every fair game needs a referee, no matter what form it takes. I propose we let Eleanor load the bullets. What do you think? I have nothing to hide, nothing to fear. When the winner accepts the challenge, the room erupts in whistles and cheers. While the law protects the right to carry firearms, such outlandish behavior is rarely seen in daily life. Eleanor's smile widens into an even more exaggerated arc. Ensuring the safety of her guests' lives and property is a fundamental principle of this establishment and all of Los Parados. As she speaks, she swiftly seizes the weapon from the challenger's hand, completely ignoring the owner's belated protests. Hey, you, careful! That thing can easily... This is about my dignity, don't you? Don't worry, I'll finish this game for you. Letting guests take part in such a dangerous duel is a serious lapse on my part, isn't it? Then the ghost skillfully inspects the chamber and hammer, as if handling a child's toy. Her face lights up with pleasant surprise. Copperfield Rose Fosbear double-action repeating revolver. What a rare find these days. 8 chambers of 3.57 Magnum rounds. A meticulous recreation of vintage craftsmanship. Designed exclusively for collectors and deserving of equally exceptional roles. She speaks of it with infinite familiarity. The bulky revolver doesn't look out of place in her slender white fingers. Rather, it creates the impression that she is the weapon's rightful owner. Eleanor places the gun back on the table. You'll be loading 2 bullets, mister. That makes the chance of failure 1 in 4. With a curl of her lips, she unexpectedly raises the stakes of the game. The onlookers around the table gasp at the same time. Of course, I wouldn't dare ask our guests for anything as crude as money. If I'm fortunate enough to win, I only hope that you can fulfill one small wish of mine. What do you say? The scent of excitement tries everyone's nerves. The crowd players have all thrown all thoughts of prize pools and strategies to the wind. Their eyes firmly locked onto the unfolding drama. No objections here. Let's do it. Please. She raises her pinky finger and elegantly grips the barrel, offering the handle to the challenger. The fidgety man snatches the weapon, slowly flips open the cylinder, and pulls out a handful of bright yellow bullets from his pocket with his left hand. He flicks the bullet into the air and then spins the curved cylinder, letting the rotated chamber catch the smooth falling round. This small feat of dexterity earns another round of mocking cheers. Damn, alright. I'll go first. Before his words even finish, he presses the gun barrel against his temple and savagely pulls the trigger. The crowd's thirst for blood goes unfulfilled. The gunpowder explosion they were expecting didn't happen. The weapon malfunctions, seemingly due to lack of lubrication. The mechanism engages, but the cylinder remains completely stuck. My, you're certainly impatient. No matter, it's only proper to let our guests go first. But since it's jammed, perhaps I should be the one to take the first shot. She takes a weapon from her opponent, noticing the grip feels oddly sticky to the touch. Well then, I'll begin. The briefly interrupted atmosphere of excitement flares back to life as she presses the barrel to her forehead and with perfect composure pulls the trigger. The ecstatic atmosphere freezes for an instant, then resumes its flow in the absence of any gunshot. Beck calling insults, indecipherable murmurs, and even disappointed wails all erupt uncontrollably from the crowd. Risk is the very essence of thrill, and this long-absent high-stakes showdown shatters the pretenses of normally dignified gamblers. A near-primal frenzy surges through the hall, bubbling to the brink of explosion. Damn. What a shame. It seems I survived. Well, then your turn, sir. With an innocent smile, she extends the revolver. The combination is enough to push the challenger's nerves to the edge of hysteria. This is a turn of events he never saw coming. Eleanor is just a pampered rich girl who happens to know her way around the card table. How could she possibly be so adept at this kind of game? The delicate crescents of her smiling eyes curved like scythe blades. A fleeting thought sent a chill down his spine. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it. The judge's gavel hovers, poised for a verdict that never comes. Let's begin another round. Girl, challenger, girl, challenger, girl, challenger. 6 shots over in merely moments. Yet to the seasoned card player, it feels like a century has passed. Cold sweat now trickles down his face toward his neck. 6 trigger pulls, 6 empty chambers. The answer was clear. The revolver returns to Eleanor's hands, heavy with the weight of death itself. I withdraw my challenge. Do you hear me? I'm not playing anymore. Both bullets are in Miss Eleanor's hands. I say fortune favors her. Shall we call this her win? Heated arguments surge from all directions, only to be dispersed by the decisive word of one controlling the game. That won't do, you know. Rules are the foundation of any game. They're not just casino protocol. They're my promise to all my guests. Promises are not to be changed on a whim. The scent of blood seeps into the air as the hall spirals into chaos. Oh, I forgot to mention something to you. I never believe in luck. I only believe in probability. She raises the gun barrel to her forehead once more and pulls the trigger. The crisp striper of a hammer tears through the noise, replacing the chaos with an undisturbed, deathly silence. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3. The air-splitting explosion everyone expects still hasn't arrived. The man across the table forces his reflexively closed eyes open, seeing through the haze Eleanor's mysterious purple hair and composed smile and still intact. The girl remains unharmed. Her smile lands like a droplet in a still pond, sending ripples outward from the card table, spreading through the gathered crowd. The revolver is empty. He accuses others of cheating when he's the one cheating himself. That's impossible. I saw with my own eyes the blood he tossed fall back into the chamber. Even the one who had been making false accusations loses his composure, utterly shocked by the result that defies all logic. No need to be so harsh on this gentleman. Everyone, this game isn't over yet. How can we can jump to conclusions? She pulls the trigger again, and in that instant, the hammer and cylinder nearly complete their tasks in unison. She's lost her mind. No, the cylinder is actually, but how did she... Maintaining such high spirits in the face of death, this behavior could certainly be called madness. Yet every movement of the girl is measured and deliberate, as if she refuses to tarnish her status as the owner of the establishment. The sound of the hammer striking an empty chamber rings out again, unsurprisingly, leaving her feeling somewhat deflated. What pleasure is there in a game you know you'll win? I completed the final shot. It seems I'm the survivor. I was supposed to be entertaining my guest, yet I went ahead and won our duel, but you'll forgive me, won't you, sir? One of them was supposed to die. Setting aside the cheating, by the game's rules, both surviving should count as a tie. But the man across the table has lost the ability to speak. He just stares at his opponent, his every facial muscle pulling in a different direction, as if unsure what expression to wear. No, that's impossible. How did you know? Oh my, are you confused? Are you confused, sir? She boldly flips open the revolver cylinder and dumps its contents onto the table. With two soft clinks, a pair of knuckle-sized metal cylinders come to rest among the playing cards. The spectators nearest to the duelist swiftly grab the cylinders, holding them up for a closer look at the evidence. He's the one who cheated. There are clearly two empty shells. You have the nerve to criticize me. You're nothing but a bluffing charlatan. He basks in the satisfaction of having reaffirmed his innocence, while the onlookers around him finally relax their tense nerves. Yet no one turns to the disgraced man. All eyes stay locked on the girl, as if she's the only one left standing in the spotlight. Damn. The standard Copperfield Fosbury double-action revolver weighs 56 ounces. 1587 grams unloaded. She knows people are desperate for an explanation. This gentleman has exquisite taste. The embellishments on his gun are rather refined, with agate and diamond inlays on the grip and a gold-plated barrel. The unloaded gun weighs around 18,000 grams. The standard 3.357 caliber Magnum rounds are somewhat heavier than the regular ammunition. To be precise, 15 grams per bullet. So the total weight after loading two bullets should be 1830 grams, or perhaps a bit more. But when you have only loaded two empty shell casings, the weight is practically indistinguishable from an unloaded gun. A casual tone only brings about an even more profound silence. A skilled player can remember the whereabouts of every suit and every single card. Manipulating dice and such minor tricks are child's play to them. I merely picked up the basics of estimating measurements while working at the bar. Just applying what I've learned on the fly. I'm still nowhere near as skilled as you, my guess. She feigns an embarrassment at her own display, offering a delicate bow to those seated on either side of the table. Well, what do you think now, sir? This is impossible. No one could be that perceptive, especially not some little girl. That exasperated man catches himself mid-sentence, swallowing the rest of his disrespectful remark. Oh, that was just a little playful banter to lighten the mood. You're absolutely right, sir. How can anyone possibly distinguish a mere difference of a few grams? This type of Magnum is loaded with miniature high explosive rounds, packing more gunpowder than usual. That's why they typically have flat tips. When I noticed you deliberately used that sleight of hand while loading, I already had figured out most of it. Flat tip bullets and empty shells are truly difficult to distinguish without careful examination. Still, your technique is quite skillful. You must have practiced it throughout your professional career. Whether you had a second-rate hitman or a third-rate private detective makes no difference to her. An opponent who willingly exposes the weaknesses isn't worth the effort. City guards, where are the city guards? Get this disgraceful wrench thrown out of here. That's right, don't spoil our fun. People began shoving one another, only to freeze at the sound of metal striking the floor. The girl picks up the moon umbrella leaning beneath her chair and taps it against the floor, making everyone around her suddenly realize she hadn't come unprepared. No need to rush off just yet. Revealing prizes is the most enjoyable part of any game, wouldn't you agree? As the winner, my wish is quite simple. This gentleman acted on impulse, and I kindly ask everyone to consider today's little drama, water under the bridge. However, let baseless accusations go unchecked, and soon there are no rules. Aw. She tilts her head, her smile cutting like a scythe blade into the perpetrator. Since you're such a skilled veteran, mister, your budget must be quite substantial. After all, an employer like yours wouldn't offer such a low salary, would they? The girl utters cryptic words that only her target can comprehend. How did you... The man has abandoned all will to resist, his words spilling out instinctively from whatever thoughts formed in his mind. My goodness, prying into the lady's secrets is rather discourteous, don't you think? Anyway, thank you, mister, for providing everyone with such an exciting match. It's been quite some time since I had some This much fun. The guests are still in high spirits, so today's drinks will be on you, mister. Before the man can even react, the hall bursts into cheers. He awkwardly forces a stiff smile, waving to acknowledge the people around him. The mechanical waiters glide through the crowd, their trays cutting slender paths like icebreakers through packed snow. Gossip alcohol and a high roller covering everyone's tab. Another night of revelry is in full swing in Las Parados. The girls already vanished by the exit before the party even began. Throughout the entire encounter, she behaves as if unaware of the pair of eyes watching from the corner of the hall. Interesting. What a promising young talent. Oh, who's that? I wonder who that is. Status update? According to surveillance data, Lucky 30's visitor count was higher than usual, so I went to inspect the main hall myself and took care of a little dispute. Oh, something serious enough to drag you out personally? Some mechano is acting up again? I'm afraid it was something more serious than that. Get to the point. Although the perpetrator's handgun was modified, I can confirm it was a standard model from the Patrol or Division of Chrono Intelligence Bureau. I'm not sure why you would deliberately expose his identity, but this means Chrono's people are back. She switches off the communicator hidden under her brim and walks toward the high-rise apartment from the parking lot outside the hall. Damn, alright. Hey, alright, nice. Damn, so this girl definitely seems to love to live on the edge. It really loves living on the edge, huh? And it definitely seems very, suspicious and such and so. Very suspicious so far, but yeah, damn. Alright, let's keep going. City and Stars. Alright, let's go. Section 1A/1. Introduction Overview. Repeal Article 1092 of the current Science, Technology, Progress, and Safeguard Act. Human classification criteria shall derive solely from morphological, behavioral, or phonetic type markers. No governing entity may deny natural person status under any pretext of genomic sequencing. Restrictions and discrimination against natural persons based on the genome or genetic profile, whether altered or not, are prohibited. Human experimentation should not be conducted for the purpose of obtaining biological materials or research data, nor using healing or benefit exchanges as incentives. Modified natural precision genomes, including non-human artificial DNA, retain human classification. No natural person or any part of their body may be owned by any individual or organization. Human cloning is prohibited. Damn, alright. July 13th, front page, headline of the Transatlantic Herald. The World Government Parliament passes the Human Right to Life and Biomedical Test Subject Protection Act with an overwhelming majority, and death row inmate and human experimentation contract program is terminated. Damn, alright, okay. Oh, new lady. Oh, she new pretty lady. Aw, new pretty lady. Ooh. Damn, she pretty. Madame Mozano. Okay. Progress always comes at a cost. That's all new, isn't it? It's just that our definitions of acceptable cost have never quite aligned. Damn. With such dismal results, your efforts were truly a waste of time. She browses through the news section on her handheld terminal, taking a light sip of iced tea that her guests had eagerly volunteered to prepare. You've had a bit much too rum. The sweetness even overpowers the tequila's kick. If my niece were mixing this, she'd certainly add some white mint to salvage it. She sets the slender glass down, offering a dry critique. I even went out of my way to learn from a bartender friend. Perhaps you could consider an experience of a unique flavor? The smooth-talking blonde man blinks. Speaking of which, you came up with the Lucky 38 Casino. Have you already met my niece? From what I know, your people had some issues with her. Since when did Pollard Agency operatives get this careless, exposing their identities in public of all places? Just a bit of necessary misdirection, since the private detective we recruited is playing the conspicuous fool. I can move freely while blending into the crowd. Of course, your sharp-eyed niece still saw through it. Besides, Eleanor, I doubt anyone else would have recognized what was so special about that revolver. This kind of verbal sparring is more of a customary greeting between them before they get down to business. In the end, Chrono doesn't buy into Project Eden's feasibility. Of course, the near zero-point engine has been proven theoretically, so successful experiments are just a matter of time. With the colony ship's ecological life support, nobody's ever guaranteed about that. Initial population, reproduction modules, shipboard ecosystems, too many variables. Picture this, a colossal ship with limitless energy, taking a decade just at 25% light speed. Sadly, she barely left the Oort cloud before the passengers on board drowned in their own excitement. Drowned in their own excrement and carbon dioxide. Whoosh, the ghost ship speeds onward to its new homeland. With a rather twisted sense of humor, he looks at thumbs and gestures with both hands to mimic a pair of wings. The hostess forces a hollow chuckle through her nose. Is that why you've pinned your hopes on human augmentation? Augmentation? Exactly. But the media are such a hassle. Originally, Chrono provided compensation to the families. The death row inmates voluntarily signed up as test subjects. It was clearly a win-win situation. Yet exposés keep popping up in the papers, claiming we mistreat death row inmates. I've drafted several public safety information control acts, but unfortunately, my parliament colleagues lack the necessary awareness. Damn. The details mentioned in this report by your dear friends in the media seem far more dramatic than a mere scandal. An explosion recently occurred at a secret research facility under the Chrono Group, accelerating the deliberation and voting process for related legislation. Mozano picks up her datapad again, scrolling through the screen while quoting the news in a decidedly sarcastic tone. Damn, alright. The path to becoming gods is a dead end, so we're left to live out our mortal lives. In the end, their stance is one. Former director of the North American Institute of Ecological Sciences. After all, the human body has its limits. It seems you have no choice but to follow your vision and launch the cradle with its self-sustaining ecosystem into the stars. Damn. The blonde man takes the loss in stride. He even offers compliments in response. These days, people just call me the mogul of Los Pardos. Thank your brother and his wife for dropping dead. You as Eleanor's guardian, feed him nicely. She gets the inheritance. You get the territory. Everybody wins. You here to secure a budget for Corona, or you really don't know your place? Come on, no need to be so harsh. I need your help this time. Though New Neal's Air Force Base has been repurposed as Los Parados Spaceport, the surrounding infrastructure still houses military, industrial, and launch facilities. The 32nd generation space environment simulator has been validated at Tvolsi Airspace City. But even if a colony ship can linger in deep space, the longevity of functional human society within its ecosystem remains an open question. Kono's gone where they are today by following one principle, never putting all their eggs in one basket. The Institute experts' keys is the key, and the Air Force's base facilities are the keyhole. Let's turn the lock and reopen Project Bokonon, and weave a new future for the far side in, Madame Mozano. The man's voice swells with enthusiasm, his invitation morphing into fervent pitch. Since when did you pick up this bad habit of discussing business without bringing money? Where's the budget? Her retort cuts to the chase. Years ago, Corona axed Mozano's project, diverting resources to the so-called next big thing, starving the North American Ecological Service Institute of funds. Pumping endless resources into improving the life support systems, that's just illusion. Humans are not sending themselves to outer space, they're bringing the Earth's ecosystem here. There, that was your line when you shuttered our institute. So Chronos' new plan is rounding up death row inmates, hoping to cook up superhumans who can survive deep space? Don't you find that laughable? I get your frustration. That's why we secured an unlikely backer. Should I call him a man of the hour? Anyway, he still has some business to attend to, and expected to visit Los Parados in October to further discuss project details with you. Mozano slams her glass against the table in displeasure. Jokes stop being funny when they bounce. You want to know what happens to those who write checks when they can't cash? They take a stroll through the cemetery in the outskirts of town. Damn. I'm merely a public servant who happens to occupy a seat in the world government parliament, powerless, without influence, and completely clean. Being a messenger is the extent of what I can do. As for the nightlife of Los Parados, it remains as exhilarating as ever. He changed the subject. They say even old Copperfield raves about the summer light show. Since I'm here, I might as well see what the fuss is about. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave now. The blonde man flicks his bangs aside with exaggerated flair, then straightens up from the plush leather sofa. Let it be. For the sake of our years of working together, here's a little reminder. The city guards here are all former veterans of Chrono's armed division. If you want a peaceful vacation, better not stir up any trouble. Rest assured, Madam Mogul, I've always been forthright, never defer payments, and don't play petty tricks. He turns away from the hostess by the floor-to-the-ceiling window, raising an okay gesture toward the air. Ah, you must be Miss Eleanor. What a coincidence. Have you finished dealing with all the trouble? A petite figure in the violet dress approaches from the opposite end of the corridor. Are you a guest of my aunt's? I apologize for subjecting to you such a spectacle. No. I should be thanking you, miss. Such a spectacular roulette duel. It's the first I've witnessed in my entire life. I still have matters to discuss with her, Kepfart. The clear dismissal echoes from the other side of the room. This is the first time Mozano has addressed him directly by name. I'll leave you two alone then. Good night, ladies. The man briskly walks toward the end of the hallway, tactfully closing the door behind him. Damn, alright. Interesting, huh? Real interesting. Is there a chance he's eavesdropping? By the sound of his footsteps, he hasn't gone yet. He hasn't gone very far. He's well aware of the surveillance everywhere and wouldn't be foolish enough to make that mistake. Mozano tilts her chin toward the terminal on the table. Just as you instructed on, Los Perdos resources are about to be redirected to your old project, aren't they? I've no doubts about his proposal itself. What's suspicious is what happened to you earlier. An off the books detective from the Pollard Agency working with the Chrono-affiliated counselor. That's a clear violation of the group's confidentiality protocols. And that old man, he's got deep pockets. He almost never brings in outside investors. The memory uploading and human modification research has just encountered setbacks, and the ecological sphere research is about to be restarted. This is far too coincidental. The ghost stands quietly by the sofa, then as if suddenly enlightened, gives the hostess a knowing smile. I remember, you often told me to examine things with proper scrutiny, yet seize opportunities when they arise. The girl cautiously offers a suggestion, but Mozano wastes no time seizing control of the conversation. A lucky hand might seem like pure chance at first, but once you run the numbers, it becomes clear it's most likely a trap set by your opponent in cahoots with the dealer. However, even a temporary advantage can become a turning point. The key is seizing it at the right moment. Well, you can't plan a counterattack while holding the right cards. Yes, a manipulated gain carries risk, but the payout is correspondingly unmatched. I don't recall asking for your advice. Mozano cuts off the girl who was agreeing with her. No offense, I shouldn't have said that. Truth is, we don't know if this is Chrono's internal power struggle or just some money grab, unless we dance with the devil ourselves. Besides, this might be our last chance to revive Project Pokemon. She conceals any ripple of emotion in her voice as she gently turns to gaze at the lights outside the window. Aw. Oh, the art! Hey, oh, the art! Oh, dude, the art is beautiful, man. Whoa. Neon casino signs, scattered with deliberate artistry, punctuate the gaps between opulent buildings. Spotlights stain the early summer night sky in a mesmerizing brown-purplish hue. Here, the game is the one true law. Since the establishment of the world government, the end of history seems to have become nothing but a fallacy. Humans frantically push everything to the extreme. Energy, engineering, biology. As if the world would end if they didn't build a Tower of Babel in just 7 days and nights. Maybe it was that restless hunger that made me refuse Fred and join Corona. May he rest in peace. The woman deliberately glances toward Eleanor. I only find her expression as calm as ever. She doesn't restrain her emotions, but continues her expression commentary. And Los Paradisos is the ultimate entertainment. Humans are bizarre creatures. The further reason takes them, the wider their release. Resources from the city of sin, now feeling the pursuit of the unknown. How ironic. I won't waste this opportunity. I've always been curious, if I may ask, Aunt, what exactly does Buckanon mean? It's supposedly from a book the old man greatly admired. Too bad the author was a deranged mad doctor. Kona's people are always speaking in these cryptic, mystical ways, disgusting as always. I prefer calling my life's work by its most straightforward name. Eden Type 2, Type 3 colonial ship. Oh, so she's the one who was trying to make a Type 3 ship, like Babylonia, I'm assuming. She's the one who planned Babylonia. Oh, shit. Her gaze just past the tightly packed buildings beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows. Eleanor knows the woman's thoughts are fixed on a place somewhere in the northern suburbs beyond the city. Damn, alright. Now Neil's Air Force Base, where humanity poised to step proudly into the stars, is forging its own safety net. Damn, alright. Location unknown. Fort Winter, 6 months later. Oh, shit. Traces of the biting wind blades covering away for thousands of years cover the exposed rocks. The fortress facility, half hidden by snow and mountains, stands as the only mark of civilization in this far northern land. Is this the Northern Asian Research Institute of Life Science and Evolution? The man steps from the helicopter's rear cabin into the snowstorm, removes his eye mask, and gazes at the mountain range behind him with admiration. I think this fits the researchers well. A well-groomed gentleman steps onto the platform from the landing pad's suspended stairway. I've long heard of your reputation, Mr. Godwin. I've also caught wind of the recent news. A mere laboratory accident. If those mediocre minds Mediocre minds who had their eyes on your project all along seized the opportunity to make a fuss, and even put an end to all your efforts. Fortunately, you had the right people backing you, ensuring that a pioneer like yourself wouldn't be cast aside so easily. Sample CB-103, lost in the explosion, is now in the hands of the one who sent me to meet with you. He asked me to assure you your work will not be seized by the 4 major powers under the world government. I have no interest in hearing any more about the Queen Bee project or any other nonsense. Oh, so that's what he looks like. The old man's obsession with those lunatics killed the dream of transcending flesh. They derailed the project worse than the media ever could. My boss knows this, so we believe space demands enhancing humans' adaptability through mechanical modification, not those misguided illusions misguided illusions like mind fusion. Here you have full support. My boss sends his regards, a name you might recall. He hands over his sleek minimalist business card. Godwin accepts it with a cursory glance. Isn't it the doctor writer who was in the news? Even someone like me who spends all their time in the lab has heard something about it. I've heard that they push patients to kill themselves, while only some wealthy eccentric with some twisted proclivities would be willing to fund such inhumane experiments. Godwin's mouth twists into a wry smile. Damn. Well then, I hope we'll have the opportunity to meet again. He ducks into the helicopter Godwin just left, rotor blown snow sticking in Godwin's face. Feeling it chill, he wraps himself closer with the coat. So cold. The vast light years stretching between Earth and the potentially habitable worlds feel like an endless winter, one humanity is doomed to never cross. But this time, humanity will never make a true attempt to leave the cradle behind. This is also why he signed that suspiciously long contract and came here. Here, humanity will have the opportunity to take the ultimate step in evolution, immortality. Clang. As the black steel doors open, the sound of a rotating shaft brings Godwin back to reality. What he fails to realize is that the investor lurking in the shadows has already arranged every detail of this sifting operation. Godwin casts one last glance at the snowy mountains, then turns back and steps into the dark passage. Hey, alright, damn. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Definitely learned a lot more there. Definitely getting a lot of backstory, lore, and world building. I love it. Alright. Alright, Alright, I just gotta do something real quick. I'll be back in a sec. But yeah, once I get back, this will probably be the last story node that we'll do today. But I'll be back in a sec. But we'll do the last one like when I'm back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's continue on and finish the final note for today. Called Cat and Mouse. Let's go. Los Pardos, October 2nd. If you truly want to break freely from convention without hurting your loved ones, then at least you can pursue art. At least you can pursue art. I'm not joking. Art isn't merely a way to make a living. I wonder who this man is. For God's sake, learn an art form. It makes your life more bearable. And who knows, it might even gradually clear and cleanse your soul. Practice pen calligraphy on the backs of playing cards. Mix drinks with minted spirits. Tell stories, even terrible ones. Someday your friends will hear your fictional plots and believe them to be true. Do your very best and you will discover traces of divine revelation and receive your ultimate reward. The reader closes the hardcover book and a deathless silence falls over the gathering. A moment later, scattered applause rises, while the impatient audience members have already begun to stand up one after another. The banner for Theodore Anson Sterling's book-sharing event still hangs overhead as disappointed elite who had the leisure to attend such activities file out through the archway of the makeshift lecture hall. Damn, alright. The rental fee for this hotel's multi-purpose hall must be quite steep, no? Quite the ambitious avenue for a debut author's event for Los Pardos. Being nothing but an overworked voting machine is so tedious. As elected representatives, we have many ways to give back to society, such as making contributions to artistic and cultural initiatives. The event sponsor responds. Come to think of it, I recall you already made a business trip here in mid-July, shortly after the bill passed. Frequent visits to Los Pardos. Are you in a hurry to court new sponsors? The middle-aged woman's words cut through the air with icy sarcasm. With Pollard's purse strings in your grip and Colonel himself singing your praises, while I completely understand why a rising star would sneer at a washed-up nobody like me. At least you know your place. You see, I don't need entertainment. I've been consuming so much literature lately that I could possibly sway ink. Writers are fascinating. Once you realize you've actually read their work, they'll confess everything from their childhood cat's cradle games to their first kiss. He lowers his voice mysteriously. Word has it that the inspiration for this new book came from a funeral Sturkin attended years ago. Oh, Palangoski, huh? Ooh, she looks grim. I like her design. I like it. With your frivolous attitude, don't those pretentious literary types look down on you? How can you have a say if you don't experience it firsthand? Like that person on stage just now. If you bet you've already seen his name in the news. Probably just some inconspicuous line in some tabloid. Never had the leisure to subscribe to such things. I'm certainly not referring to the ridiculous name Sturgeon, according to the rumors I've heard in current circles. That's just one of his many pen names. Congratulations on finding your new hobby, but I'm out of time. The two have already arrived at the hotel lobby, and the woman is clearly fed up with the endless rambling. It's fine. See you later, Miss Palangoski. We'll continue our discussion next time. Suit yourself. After a perfunctory handshake, she glances at her wristwatch and turns toward the vehicle waiting at the bottom of the gentle slope. The woman fails to notice that her cufflinks have been swiftly swapped. Contempt for this frivolous colleague had dulled her vigilance. The down on his luck writer doesn't leave with a despising, searching crowd, instead taking his place beside the blonde man. Thank you for your generous support. Not at all. Your new work is brilliant as always. When it's officially published, make sure to bring me a signed copy. He exclaims with genuine admiration. You flatter me. Oh, that reminds me. The fountain pen I borrowed during our last conversation, and I kept it up close ever since. Now that we have a moment in private, I should return it to its proper owner. The counselor pulls a black and golden pen from his suit jacket pocket. Its diamond embellishment, unusually extravagant for a writing instrument. He deliberately caresses the prominent prostitution with his thumb before handing it to the writer. Thank you. If you pardon me, I have a meeting with Madame Mozano. I should take my leave. Yeah, I'm alright. The vehicle leaves Los Pardos' neon sprawl, heading toward the less bustling residential area. High rises stand out, giving way to low-rise blocks. The woman picks up the microphone from the armrest and dials into the communication channel. As we've heard, Kephart is handling funds of questionable origin. Should we activate 8 embroidery scissors? After all these years, embroidery scissors may be rusty. I think we should give that girl he took with him back then a chance instead. Huh. Hoarse, deep male voice casually issues instructions from the other end. What do you mean, sir? We can write off embroidery scissors easily enough, but that girl's special. She's the last living candidate from the original batch. I'd say she's worth investing in. So we let her get close to Mozano? Since when do you think so simplistically? Activate embroidery scissors and Mozano will smell the threat immediately. If she wants to send a message, she'll just have him killed. And by using Mozano's hand to eliminate embroidery scissors, that girl will have a chance to show what she's capable of. The man on the phone seems quite pleased with himself, while Palangoski just silently listens to the instructions. Damn, alright. Madame Mozano's mansion, 15 minutes ago. Eleanor stands at the exit of the reception room, waiting for the distinguished guests to arrive. Today is the day Kephart promised for the visiting investors to block the Block-A-Mon plan. The discreet black sedan arrives on schedule. The girl escorts the emerging passengers indoors. Welcome to Las Pardos. I'm Madame Mozano's niece, Eleanor. How may I address you, sir? Eleanor never doubts her memory. 3 months ago, the visitor staying before her had appeared in the entertainment hall. He had watched the entire roulette game from a corner. Just call me Trout. Ah, Trout. Ah, Vonnegut, there he is. Ah, Mr. Trout, you must be that celebrated author as everyone's discussing. And a notorious fugitive. Without wasting time on pleasantries, the visitor begins testing the girl's attitude. Those who live in the whirlpool of public opinion are always entangled with all sorts of rumors. Rest assured, sir, what happens in Las Paradosis stays in Las Paradosis. It's the city's unwritten rule. Never mind, honestly works best with open-minded people. My personal hobbies have nothing to do with business, but I'm flattered by a young lady who knows my work. A small gift to commemorate our meeting, Eleanor. He emphasizes the words token of our meeting. The man takes out a slender case and lifts the lid, revealing an elegant black and gold fountain pen, resting quietly on velvet. Aw, alright. You flatter me, sir. She notices the visitor's gaze lingering on the diamond decoration on her pen, and perceptively examines the small protrusion herself, making sounds of admiration. Familiar footsteps draw closer, and a woman appears at the doorway of the reception room. Alright. By the time she sees Trout on the sofa, her professional smile is perfectly rehearsed. There were too many trivial matters at the casino that need my attention, so I simply couldn't welcome you at the airport personally. This is my niece, Eleanor. Please forgive us for having a child receive you. Not at all. Such poise clearly reflects excellent upbringing. The man rises and bows, skillfully exchanging the pleasantries. Eleanor nods respectfully to her aunt. He briefly bids farewell to the visitor, then leaves the reception room. Alright. Entering the hallway, she makes sure no one is around before taking out the pen. Gold filigree patterns converge at one end of the barrel, while a small diamond decoration emits an almost imperceptible green glow. Alright. Eleanor knows exactly what this is. She's more surprised that such primitive listening devices still exist in this day and age. Why Trout would present such a welcome gift remains completely unknown, but she knows she must seize every opportunity. More information means the advantage of the first move. She unscrews the diamond and places it against her ear canal, then gently pushes the pen cap. So, we let her get close to Mozano? Without the slightest interference, a clear female voice immediately responds. Based on the audio quality, Eleanor guesses that the device on the other end must be attached near the target's hand. Since when do you think so simplistically? Activate embroidery scissors and Mozano will smell the threat immediately. If she wants to send a message, so just have him killed. Once we're rid of the sanctimonious scum, things will be much easier. Imagine the scandal. High society fatherless girl becoming the Achilles heel of a city's most powerful magnate, and with Mozano backed into the corner, the girl finds her golden opportunity. The raspy female voice drips with smugness. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Pollard was a magnum opus of embroidery scissors, and you were his former apprentice. And now you're using others to eliminate your own master. I suppose that's a coming-of-age ritual in your line of work. Eleanor hears the woman's slight intake of breath. She seems to be brewing something inside, but after a moment, she still responds with the same cold voice. I'll ensure your instructions are properly conveyed. The conversation comes to an abrupt end. Alright, damn. Alright. December 23rd. Christmas season has arrived again, but Eleanor knows her aunt is in no mood to celebrate. As she approaches the sweet doorway, she hears the rather agitated argument argument. Lately, these haywire moments during calls with Kefart have become increasingly frequent. Eleanor lingers at the door, wisely not knocking. She knows her aunt doesn't mind eavesdropping. Mozano has enjoyed being underestimated. The Polard spies have been crawling through our streets every other day. You can't seriously expect me to believe they're just your hired help checking up on things. I know the old man wasn't interested from the very beginning. The so-called Project Restart was entirely your personal initiative. However, as long as the money keeps flowing, I won't interfere with your tedious internal disputes. But I must warn you, no one causes trouble in my territory and gets away with it. She hangs up the phone decisively, seemingly having made her decision. Eleanor silently consents, then gently pushes the door handle. Come in. Eleanor takes a step forward, positioning herself near the doorway. She knows Madame Mozano won't have much to say. Do you need something from me, man? Christmas is coming up. Time to take care of the usual shopping. Here's the list. Don't mess it up. As she speaks, she paces forward and hands the girl a roll of distinctly cast classical parchment paper. Eleanor scans the contents and notices a term she hasn't seen in a long time, but she isn't surprised. Damn. Feather accessories. Oh? All clothing gifts I see. Which else here has caught your fancy this season? The Rosewater Tailor Shop. Oh? She casually drops the name with an air of nonchalance. Oh shit. This is exactly what Eleanor had anticipated, and she'd even prepared the necessary item in advance. An elegant leather document case. A necessary misdirection. Enough to wash her hands clean of any irresponsibility. Rosewater Limited, ASTO 2132. The eye-catching golden rosed lettering centered prominently on the case. Be it a knight or pawn, each has its place in the intricate design of the chessboard. Even chess pieces that have awakened with consciousness should still move according to the player's strategy. Each move is like unwinding silk from a cocoon until the king unwittingly exposes his position. She has a mission that must be completed. Oh, is this when she assassinated that guy? Los Parados Cemetery, 14 years ago. The gentle slopes are blanketed in verdant green. Closely arranged headstones form walls of ashen white. People in black attire stand solemnly around two coffins placed side by side. After the band finishes, he clears his throat and begins reciting based on his prepared script. The mournful wail of Scottish bagpipes is the only sound for miles around. Oh damn, alright. The man at the temporary podium wears an ostentatious cross necklace. After the band pauses, he clears his throat and begins reciting mechanically from his script. Alright. For the faithful, God has prepared wonders no eye has witnessed, no ear has perceived, and no mind has grasped. Fred Sinclair and Phyllis Sinclair now live in the glory of God. Today we lay to rest the only the physical forms of our loved ones. Their spirits and souls, the remarkable dedication to the city remain with us still. And in the love of their friends and family, and the hope of their children, the Sinclair couple lives on eternally. Yeah, I'm alright. The priest gently closes the antique book before him as the flute music resumes. Beginning from his left side, the funeral attendees approach one by one, placing their hands upon the reddish-brown coffin to bid farewell to the departed soul. Arms dealers from the Copperfield Consortium, chairpersons from the World Government Parliament's Budget Committee, heirs to the Atulek Energy Empire. These are faces that appear so frequently in the news that even children would recognize them. Damn. More distinct figures behind blended into the queue. Unremarkable background players united by their Chrono Group affiliation. And the author hidden among them, who famously never appears on book jackets or interviews, remains perfectly anonymous. The girl stands out as utterly out of place in this adult world. Hey, it's your turn. The Deepia crew prompting yanks her thoughts back to reality. Alright. She steps forward, her gaze firmly locked on the grass beneath her feet. Unlike those before who hastily placed their palms on the coffin just to get it over with, she hesitates for a long while before extending her index finger. Her nails, sharp as blades, standing in jarred contrast to the girl's delicate frame. She gently traces a crescent moon on the smooth, double-arched surface, then quickly adds a small cross beneath it. The robed host at the podium witnesses everything clearly, slightly frowning his brow in confusion. Yet the man reminding the girl tears through the solemnity with a extremely savage roar. Damn. Old friend never should have raised a viper like you. He told me so himself before he died. Oh God, forgive me. I mean, before he passed away. You murderous scum, burn in hell. And to think he named your soul, the sole beneficiary in his will, died just like him, soft-hearted to his dying breath. The dignitaries, having finished paying their respects and gradually returning to their temporary seats, instantly have their attention captured by the sudden incident. Sir, I don't understand what you mean. Are you saying you were close friends with my parents when they were alive? Oh shit. She feigns shock, but doesn't seem to retaliate. Her polite detachment turns his rage into sand against stone. The man's face twitches. She knows that look, shock, disgust, and jumble of fear. We all know family ties run deep, but you, my parents' friends, shared decades with them. I've only had years. This gentleman is probably overcome with grief. Aw. Her surprise melts into a smile. She's steering the conversation now. The onlookers finally decide to intervene, hands clamping the man's shoulders. People comfort him, interpreting his unrelenting anger as an inconsolable grief. I shall leave you all with some space for quiet reflection. With an apologetic gift for her early departure and a reserved milestone in place, she leaves behind the impression of an impeccably well-bred young lady truly admirable. Yeah, true. Eleanor walks toward the limousine parked at the cemetery entrance, where a tall, imposing figure already stands waiting. Well then, I'm your legal guardian starting today. Ah, hello, Aunt. Her posture is lowly as a stone monument base buried in soil. From this moment on, she deliberately crafts the illusion of hierarchy between them. But why not? A clean slate has its advantages. Massive accounts, nuclear-proof vaults, and discreet intermediaries who know how to deal with adult matters. The girl imagines countless tomorrows where she'll carve her crescents and crosses over and over. Aw, damn, alright. Interesting. December 24th. The cloying sweetness of eggnog clashes with greasy turkey remnants, turning what should be an elegant affair into something decidedly less so. The girl clears the aftermath of the drinking games, restoring the parlor to its pristine state. Mozano, who normally delights in personally hosting private Christmas parties, was completely absent from tonight's social gathering. Knocking. As the clock's hands strike midnight vertically, the door knock arrives in perfect synchrony. I'm coming! She pulls open the wide wooden door, welcoming the woman inside. Just as Eleanor has anticipated, her aunt didn't return alone. Behind Mozano stands a slender figure. There's been a fire at the Rosewater Tailor Shop. The situation isn't good. This is the shop's owner's adopted daughter, maid, sister, call her whatever you want. She'll be living with us now. After this curt explanation to Eleanor, her gaze shifts to the newcomer, delivering a cold command. Introduce yourselves. Oh shit, okay. Many years later, on the crimson glow of emergency lights, Eleanor would still recall that mechanical, lifeless voice, like a battery-powered doll, like code that could be written at will, like a precise mechanical clock, perpetually following its programmed instructions. A perfect birthday gift. Aw. Reunion. Oh? Reunion, huh? Interesting. I wonder what that is. Discord. My name is Discord. Oh! Huh. So they're both. So this is Discord. Oh, Discord backstory as well. Okay, damn. Oh shit. Okay. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, definitely super interesting for real though. But yeah. I think with that said, this has been a really good solid start to the chapter so far, man. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, I think with that said, that's all I really got to say for this. This really is really packed stream today. But yeah, I think with that said, I will be streaming again on Wednesday at 3 p.m. AST. We will be diving into Wuthering Waves 2.6, and we will be pulling for Augusta. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Hopefully you'll tune in for that, and we'll check out the 2.6 story. But yeah, I think with that said, That's all I really got to say. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to stay on. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like on the stream. And if also you want to see more, be sure to drop a subscribe and a follow and all that good stuff. And also be sure to drop a comment to let me know what you thought of the stream down in the comments below. And thank you guys again so much for watching. Remember to stay humble, be kind to people. I'll see you guys later.